So in this video, we look at the impact of genetics on vitamin levels. This is a repurposed segment of a much longer video that you can find on the YouTube channel with the title, Do I Need to Take Vitamins? I think some of the principles in this bigger video are really important to highlight. So this segment is on the impact of genetics on vitamin levels. So we look at the principle of genetics, what single nucleotide polymorphisms are, and we look at some specific single nucleotide polymorphisms that may affect vitamin levels. My name is Dr. Terranella, and if you're new to this channel, I just want you to know that I'm making these videos to help you go beyond the basics of your health, whether it's a confusing lab test, symptom, or diagnosis. I make these videos to help you get a better understanding of what's going on with your health. So if you like this kind of information on nutrition, health, hormones, etc., click on the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get more videos like this one. Now for a quick disclaimer, the information in this video is for informational purposes only. It's not intended as a treatment for any health condition or as a substitute for seeing an actual doctor or medical professional. It should be used as an educational guide to deeper your understanding of your own health and treatment success. If medical attention is needed, don't delay in seeking that attention. So when I'm referring to genetics here, we're mostly looking at, we're referring to single nucleotide polymorphisms, or SNPs, SNPs. And that's basically what that means. It's a single point along your genetic code that is changed. When it's changed, that gene that it's coding for, the blueprint that then tells your body how to make the protein. So when you make that change, it changes the outcome of the protein, and then that protein is going to be a little bit changed. In some cases, if it's a significant single point mutation or SNP, the outcome of that protein will be more significant and change so that it may increase the demand for certain nutrients or certain vitamins that the body needs because of that single nucleotide polymorphism. So you can think about it like this if you want. If we have a toy car factory or just a car factory in general, the blueprint for the car is what's being altered. And so the toy car may come out with 3 wheels instead of 4. Now, as you might guess, that car will still be somewhat functional with 3 wheels. So you may have to everybody lean on one side. It's not going to roll very well. It's not going to be as functional. And the same thing happens with the body. And basically the vitamins and nutrients oftentimes are cofactors, which we're going to talk more about later, but they can basically help support that 4th wheel so that the thing will still work, just not going to work as good. So why we care about this is that we can support the enzymes with nutrition when those enzymes or proteins that are functioning in the body are misshapen due to our genetics. This is kind of a newer field called nutrigenomics, and it's basically the use of nutrition to improve your health based on specific genetic alterations. So one example of this that many people maybe have heard of is the MTHFR enzyme. So everybody has MTHFR as an enzyme functioning in our body. That stands for methyl tetrahydrofolate reductase. And this enzyme basically turns different forms of less active folate into more active folate. And when you have an alteration in the MTHFR enzyme due to one of these single nucleotide polymorphisms, it can reduce the functionality of that. A lot of people do have this MTHFR alteration. Some say as much as like 50% of the population, but not all of the alterations are as significant as the other ones. So maybe somewhere around 30, 33, or a third percent of the population have moderate to severe MTHFR, which is quite a bit. So with MTHFR, one of the most common symptoms that people will have is fatigue, depression, kind of mental health things, maybe even anxiety, and also more prone to blood clots. And that's thought to be related to homocysteine. So that's one SNP. There's also one known as a COMT. And COMT stands for catechol methyltransferase. And this enzyme facilitates the breakdown of stimulating neurotransmitters known as catecholamines. There are things like adrenaline, dopamine, etc. Basically, when these kind of build up in your system, you feel a little bit more stimulated, anxious. Maybe you're going to have more insomnia, maybe blood pressure issues, things like that. Even bipolar is sometimes associated with this COMT SNP. So there's many examples of these single nucleotide polymorphisms where the vitamin or mineral may be needed in higher amounts in order to allow that enzyme to function properly. But there's also some problems that can happen from vitamin mineral transporters. So the proteins that transport things like thiamine and magnesium and things like this can also be altered. And there's many examples of this where you can get them into the body, but they just can't be transported. And so those are things you can look at through doing a genetic analysis and looking deeper at your genetics. Genetics do play a role in our need for more vitamins. Some cases it's very important, other cases not so much. A few things that I would add to this video is that the SNPs that were mentioned here are just a few of many. All the enzymes in our bodies require cofactors, and when SNPs are present, oftentimes more of these cofactors are required to help that enzyme function at normal levels. So it's helping those altered enzymes work at a more normal rate. So one thing that can happen, for instance, with MTHFR, it's common to see depleted levels of the cofactor for the MTHFR enzyme, which is riboflavin. Something that I didn't mention is that by taking those cofactors, it helps the enzyme work at a more efficient level. So hopefully that helps you understand the impact of genetics on vitamin levels. If it does, great. If you do have separate questions on this topic, drop it in the comment section. I may do a separate video on that topic. As always, I'm happy to try to answer your questions. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.